Hello stock traders, I hope all of you are having a fine morning. In today's video, I am going to give you my predictions for SPY, where I think that we're heading, some different levels to watch and pay attention to. I'm also going to cover some comments that were made by Michael Burry. Now, Michael Burry is someone who's famous for shorting stocks. He is very, very bearish on the market at the moment. And I kind of want to go through a little bit of what he said and then also his price targets and give my opinions on that, as I always try to listen to the vital few. And I consider him to be one of the vital few. Even though I am bullish on the market and I do not have the same opinion as him, it will be interesting, and let's take a look at some different scenarios that could play out to where his prediction could come true. I will also give you 3 stocks that can really help you if the market should go on a downturn. These 3 stocks I have used over and over again. They are ETFs. And they are very easy to use and have been a great tool for me. But before we get going in this video, if you could do me a favor, please hit that most amazing and wonderful like button. Also, if you have not done so before, please subscribe and turn on those bell notifications so you get notified when a new video comes out. So I always like to review my call outs for the previous week, and so far this last week I was 12 out of 15, so 15 total stocks that I called out between our basic, standard, and premium rooms of our Discord. 12 of those were winners, 80% win rate with an average gain per pick of 2.71%. All of these picks are based on insider activity and what I consider to be significant insider activity over the last 5 years. I have averaged a 70% win rate with an average gain per pick of 3% per one. If you are interested in those daily alerts, you will want to check it out in our Patreon group. I have a link in the description down below. All right, so let's start talking about the SPY ETF and the S&P 500 and where it can go. Let's start to take a look at the chart as we get looking here. You can see that we had an extremely bullish week, also creating some new levels of, this is a new gap up here at 375. Another new gap up, or a new gap down has been opened up as we've gone up so crazy in the market. Another gap down that we're seeing that is new is 366. And then we still have this 354 kind of price target that I had for what I thought would be a temporary bottom. But it really depends upon the CPI data and whether or not we get there, or whether we turn this thing around and start moving at least sideways and not downwards. All right, so in the short term, looking at these different levels. So looking at this gap up here, this was originally an area that I liked. I thought, and when I called it out last week that the market was going to go bullish, I thought that we could get as high as 400. At 400 though, I'm expecting bears to be waiting it out up there. And so to see lots of people go short on the market if we should get up to that level. So that is something to really think about as we hit some of these levels. Another level of concern where this gap first opens here as resistance is 394 all the way to 399. Watch these levels, and these are going to be very, very heavy, severe levels. We also have the 48 EMA, which has acted as resistance for a long period of time. If this gets up to it, I would expect that we would bounce downwards after that, that we would see bears enter in, and that there isn't still, at this point, not enough confidence in the market out there, in my opinion, to where we would break through this. So that's something to watch. If that does happen, I know I've been bullish on the market, but I have to be a realist here and look at this chart. And this is a very bearish chart. We are in a bear trend. So it is possible that as we bounce up that this was just a relief rally and we would get up here to that 48 EMA and then bounce downwards again. But I have a plan for that, and so I'm going to talk about that here more in just a moment. And I also want to talk about Michael Burry, and he has gone out and said and has a target out on the SPY ETF of $186. That is very, very bearish, because as you look right here, 390.08, we are a long ways away from $186. And so the reason why he's chosen that, if you go here to the weekly chart, or let's go to even the monthly chart. There we go, the monthly chart. So as we go back to the monthly chart, that level of 186, which is right here, as you can see, this was a very popular, as you can see my little arrow kind of pointing here, my little finger there. You can see where this was resistance and support. This was at a very important level. This was back in 2016 that this was a very important level. And so expecting it to come back there is, I can understand why that level was chosen. But man, that is a long ways down. That's a long ways for the market to fall. And you know, it has to be respected, it has to be looked at. As we come up to this level, if we get rejected here, we could see a waterfall of selling. And so that is something to be aware of. And here is how I plan on attacking once we get to that $399 level. Now, number one, I will slow down on my purchasing of stock. So that'll be the first thing I do. And as I sell stock, I will put it aside as cash. And so in situations like this, I like, once we bounce up here, it could bounce and completely go upwards parabolic. If we have news, then I will buy stocks. If we break this level significantly, I will buy stock and go bullish as we break it and could move up to this next gap up of 436. But if we get to this price action at $399 and we get denied there, and you can see where it won't, and also getting close to this 48 EMA line, which has also been a previous level of resistance like clockwork up here, then I will look to buy certain stocks. And the first one will be TZA. This is an ETF, and this is a bearish ETF. So this is a 3X bearish ETF. And I will look to have 70% of my portfolio as cash if we should get rejected at that level, and go in 10% of my portfolio on TZA, another stock that I will look for, or ETF that I will look for to trade is going to be the SQQQ. Probably load that with 10% of my availability. And so this is something to really watch this next week. And then also SPXS. These are my three favorite. I like to trade these during times of when the market could fail and we could see some selling. This is a good way to make money when that is happening. Now, when the market is bullish, I like to go in stocks with significant insider activity. But what happened towards the end of this last week is that insiders stopped buying. And so that made me kind of concerned. There really wasn't anything significant on Friday or Thursday, and it was really, really dry. The only things that were significant that I saw that were kind of interesting were a couple of stocks that were related to the oil and gas industry. And we could be at a bottom on oil and gas, and so that's what's going on there. And in fact, this market rally is based upon oil going down. But if it starts to climb again, we could get up to this 48 EMA and quickly get rejected and go down. And so it's just something to kind of watch for. You always want to have a plan with no matter what could happen within the market. So if that were to happen, I would be almost 70% cash and go 30% on these bearish funds, and only buy and use that sideline cash when I saw an insider that was really, really significant. Something I knew that, wow, this was such a big buy and this was so many different officers that this was bullish for me to go into. And to go into this cash saving mode to where I can make money even when the market is going down. You have to have a plan. The market is not always going to go up. And right now we could have seen a bubble on the market, even though I am seeing positive numbers in some companies that I know and have access to their different numbers. At the same time, looking at this as a realist, this is not looking very bullish to me. It's not looking like we're going to bust through, because this has really kind of been lower volume these days kind of coming up here. So something to watch for. Hopefully this video was of help to you. Please reach out to me in the comment section down below. I appreciate all of you who have watched. And Raythoven out.